But speaking of sack, you guys enjoyed last Thursday's stream so much, we're going to start to make funny videos a part of as many streams as we possibly can. So in between each story tonight, I'm going to have a couple of little funny videos for you, and we're going to start with a joke from this gentleman here. Some of you may see this coming, some of you may not. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yesterday, I dropped this girl off from a date we just had, but while I'm pulling into her driveway, her dad runs out in panic. Somehow, he got a peanut stuck in his ear, and as he was trying to take it out, he was pushing it farther in. They wanted to go to the hospital, but when I heard the problem, I made the mistake of thinking I could fix it. So I told her dad to sit down, and I put these 2 fingers up his nose, and I said, blow as hard as you can. And when he did, the peanut came flying out of his ear. The girl I was just with and her mom just kept thanking me, but I kept insisting that, it's nothing. Then her mother turned to her father and said, wow, what a wonderful kid. He's so smart. What do you think he's going to be in a couple years? Then the dad looked at his daughter. Then he looked at me. And then he said, based off the smell of his fingers, our son-in-law. Yeah.
That's a good setup.
Oh, very, very good setup.
Oh yeah. It sounded like a real story up until the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or maybe it
good.
was a real story, in which case it's even fucking funnier.
Yeah. Oh. Listen, it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you're upstairs with a girl in a room.
Yeah. I think I know where this is going.
And her brother walks in and goes, because he knows.
Oh, no.
He knows there's been some diddling going on, some manipulating the flaps or something.
Yep.
You're like,
hey, what's going on, bro?
All right.
You know what they say? If it smells like chicken, keep on licking. It smells like trout, you throw it out.
Hey.
Terrible.
Why does it smell like acid here?
Billy's dad got back from the fudge packing plant.
We watched that video before the show.
Yes. I forget who sent that in on Tuesday, but that was glorious.
It's pretty funny. It was too long for the show, but it was
After all day of fudge packing, Billy's dad is never too tired to toss the salad.
or the back door thing.
He always welcomes visitors to his back door. Billy's dad prefers to do his own teabagging.
Yeah. You got to see it. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I got to do a search on YouTube. Billy's dad is a fudge packer.
Yep.
It's 10 minutes of glorious double entendres. Pretty awesome.
It's pretty good.
But we do have a news story for you today. Got a couple, actually. And this one is
hang on.
reprehensible.
Hang on. Before we go to the story, we've been doing this since, 2009? 8, 9, something like that? I've talked to thousands of guys, emails, texts, face-to-face, over the phone, in that amount of time. Hundreds of examples of dudes getting sick, losing their job, having other life problems, and immediately they're served with divorce papers.
Yep, they don't even miss a beat.
There's no such thing as your vows. There's vows for men and only ifs for women.
Yep.
All right, roll it up.
This is bad, right?
Yeah.
This is bad. I divorced my dying husband. He wallowed in self-pity and killed my vibe.
Okay.
Wow.
That's kind of effed up.
Well, listen to some of the shit that she says here. So she's 40 now. She was 22 when they got married. When he was 37, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer. We couldn't really think about our future, Yana Fry told Caters. How can you plan for a future as a newly married couple when you're struggling with something like cancer? So she says, people react to one of two ways to critical illnesses, and I've seen it over and over. The first type is how my husband unfortunately was, the people who drown in self-pity. The second type of people are those who are instead concerned with everyone around them. So Fry, living in New York City with her husband, said no one was worried about how she was doing during the difficult time. We saw different kinds of doctors. Not a single person ever offered me help. They never asked, do you need a support system? Are you part of a counseling group? Well, because you're not the one dying, they kind of assume that it's on you to seek those services out if you want them.
Now listen. It is really
Wow.
eye-opening when you have to write your own death letter. I have, in my career, I've written 3. Meaning, I was going into combat, might not return.
Gotcha.
So you come to terms with it in a weird, twisted kind of way. And most of the people that I've ever known that were at the end of their days, with bad diagnoses, at some point they accept it, and there's a peace that comes along with it.
Yep.
I can only hope that when it's my turn, I can do the same thing.
Yep. So this continued here for 5 years. 5 years of treatments. If it takes that long, let's be honest, the cancer's not going away. Plus, them giving you the chemo and a solution of sugar that feeds the cancer, they really don't want you to get better.
Probably not going to go well.
No. Fry says she was motivated to finally leave her sickly spouse after a friend took their own life. It was my first funeral, and it was very shocking. If you didn't have to go to a funeral until you were in your 20s...
You're living a blessed life.
There you go. Whew. In my mind at the time, suicide became an option, even though I had never considered that before. I was in such a bad state. Yes, and never mind my husband, who's literally dying. Feel bad for me. It was very clear to me that if I didn't save myself, I was probably going to die, she dramatically added.
Oh, yeah.
Like your husband, who's definitely going to die, and who you took vows for in sickness and in health. Clearly don't give a fuck about any of that shit. His main focus was more and more so about him. He's dying.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be there for him.
Well,
I can't say he was hugely supportive, she further admitted of her decision to end the union. But what was even harder was the reaction of society, which I didn't expect.
what, they called you an ungrateful fucking hooter?
A selfish quanta, huh?
Yeah.
Fry says people sent her horrible message and that her husband's family was disappointed. People were in pain and they wanted to blame someone. Let's just nail this down here, Pat, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that one specific thing tends to lead to cancer in a lot of people. HPV.
Yeah.
Where do you get HPV from? Diseased snot pockets. And in today's day and age, there's more and more women running around out there with those.
Yep.
So quite literally, you could be the one who gave him cancer.
Well, it was testicular cancer?
Yes.
Huh. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly what happened. But this woman, ooh.
I don't have the hookup to the lobby to get those kind of answers.
No.
But I can say this. Cancer just fucking happens, man.
It does.
It does. And
sometimes it just happens, and a lot of times it does have a causation.
Well, there's contributing factors
yes.
other than direct radiation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I got you.
What a nut roll.
Like I've said, I mean, this is actually fairly common for women of this age. I mean,
yep.
Western women do not make wife material. Don't be a fool and think you can turn a tool into something useful. Don't think you could walk up to the whore tree and shake it and expect the wife to fall out.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to happen.
Thankfully, this woman did the smart thing and moved away to Singapore. Unfortunately, she works as a life coach.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
Right. The woman who abandoned her dying husband, who was with testicular cancer because it was killing her vibe, is now teaching people how to live life to its fullest.
Well, I mean, in a way, I mean, she's a life coach for teaching selfishness and narcissism. Yep. Okay, I mean, if that's what you want, then look her up.
Yeah.
And they could say you and I are life coaches as well. We talk about our mistakes in an attempt to keep other people from making them.
Yeah. Just wow.
It's not. I am not surprised. I mean, literally, I've talked to hundreds of guys this has happened to. Hey, you guys watching in the comments, if something similar happened to you, let us know. I
mean, this stuff does happen all the time, but what really just ties my dick in a knot is that she put this out there publicly like it was something to be proud of.
Yeah, no shame, nothing.
Wow.
What a worthless
I'm a
tool.
life coach now. Make sure you sign up for my seminar so I can teach you how to be just as ungrateful, selfish, entitled, and narcissistic as I am, and then you'll truly live your best life.
Ha! Gay!
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.